So guys, most business owners rush through their QuickBooks setup just to get it over with. But here's the trap. If your company settings are wrong, your invoices will look amateurish, your tax forms will have the wrong address on them, and your financial reports just won't make any sense. But you are not like that. You're here to watch this video and you understand the importance of having your company properly set up in QuickBooks Online from the very beginning. So good for you. Let's get on with it. What I recommend is that you watch this video straight through first, then you can log into your QuickBooks account and watch it again, pausing at each step while you complete the steps in your own pace. Or you can just hit pause as we go this first time you watch the video. Do what works best for you. If you're watching this video, I hope that you already have a QuickBooks account and you should be able to log into it. So let's start by logging in to QuickBooks. So you logged into your QuickBooks Online dashboard. We need to go to the Control Center. Whenever you log on, you should automatically land on this page, the Control Center, which is what we're looking at here. And you know you're here because at the top it will say hello, followed by your name at the top. It doesn't say my name because this is just a demo account. The first thing we're going to do is to look in the top right hand corner for this little gear icon right here. It looks like that. And when you click on the gear icon, then this window opens. And what you want to do is go to the left hand column under your company and click on Accounts and Settings. And by default, you land on the Company tab. So you see there are several tabs here, and we are on the first one called the Company tag. This is where your brand lives, and there are three main sections here. The first one you see here, it's called Company Info. We can call this the main section. I'm just going to scroll down a little bit to give you an overview. So the next section is the Legal Info section, and then there is the Customer Contact Info section. But we are going to, let's close this. We are going to start with the main section. So here you see you start with your company name. And of course here you would put in your name or your company's name. And this is the name that you want to appear on your financial statements and your invoices. And this would be your doing business as name. And that's the name that the customers will see. I'm not going to change the name here. I'm just going to click on Save, and you do the same. So then that's done. Now the rest of the fields in this main section, the address, email, and phone, they have to do with the QuickBooks, and Intuit, the company that owns QuickBooks, they'll use that information to communicate with you. So this is not necessarily the name or the address and the email that customers will see. So again, you just click on Edit and you change this information to what you want. Just make sure you pick an email that you check frequently, and that is for communicating with Intuit. Same with phone number. Pick the best phone number to communicate with Intuit. And here on website, this actually goes on also on your invoices if you want it, or on your communications, all the communications with your customers. So what I recommend, if you do have a website, you can put the URL here. Don't type it in, because I see people often make the mistake. They forget like an S after HTTP : // and then they forget to put the S in for secure, and it just sort of messes up the navigation. The link doesn't work. So what you want to do is you want to navigate in a different browser window. You want to navigate to your website, and then just copy and paste the web address from the browser window into this field, and then click Save. And the next field in the main section is the industry field. And I'm going to pause here and say, don't just breeze past this, because this is actually a very important selection. It's one of the most important steps, because QuickBooks uses this to build your entire chart of accounts. Don't worry if you don't know what a chart of accounts is. We're going to talk about that in later videos, but you want to get your industry right. And if you get it wrong, you're going to spend a lot of time later to delete different categories from your chart of accounts. You know, categories that just you never use and they're just confusing. So because this is a little confusing, like if I click on this here, let's say, you know, see it defaults to construction, but let's say I did this for this particular company and they do landscaping. I would type in landscaping and see what comes up, if I know how to spell. And yeah, see here, landscaping services. So this was very easy, but it might not be that easy for you. You might not be sure exactly what your business is. So for that reason, I have put together a QuickBooks Industry Matchmaker prompt tool. It's a simple copy and paste tool for Google Gemini that finds your exact match in a few seconds. So you can grab that for free if you click on the link in the video description. And if you are still having trouble after using that matchmaking tool, industry matchmaking tool, you still can't figure out what your industry is, there is a contact information, my email, direct email, where you can email me and I'll try to see if I can help you select the right industry for your business. Now, I know for some of you, it's going to be simple. Like, let's say you're a bookkeeper, for example, you enter bookkeeping in there, you're going to find it right away. But like I said, it's a little bit tricky. So that's why I created that tool. So we're going to click save here. And then before we go further, you see this icon here at the top. If you click on the pencil button there, you can upload your logo. And then, you know, that your logo will then, you have the option to put it on your invoices or your emails. And, you know, you're just going to look more professional and credible. But of course, you don't have to have a logo to use QuickBooks, so you can always add that later. But this is where you would upload that. Now we're going to scroll down to the legal section, legal info. And so here first of all, you put your legal business name. That might be different from what you put in the doing business as section. So this is the name that would go on your tax returns. And again, just hit edit and change that to what you want it to be. And the EIN or SSN field, that's your employer identification number or your social security number. If you are just a sole proprietor, and many of you will be, and you are in the United States, then you would use your social security number. And if you are a sole proprietor that also has employees, then you would be required to use your EIN number. That stands for employer identification number. And that's also the case if you're an LLC or an S Corp or a regular corporation. You're also required to use your EIN. But if you're just a sole proprietor, just put your social security number in there. And it won't let me edit that for some reason, so I don't know why. I think because this is a demo account. The next field is the business type, and that actually what that means is what kind of business tax entity are you, okay? And this is very important that you're accurate here because again, QuickBooks uses this to suggest specific tax deductions for you, okay, for your field. So let's click on edit. So you can leave this at not sure or other, none, that's fine. But if you know that you are a sole proprietor, for example, I would highly recommend that you set that here to sole proprietor. Or if you know that you're a partnership, you would know, right? Because you would have filed the paperwork. Or you're a small corporation or a regular corporation, non-profit, limited liability company. So you would pick the right tax entity here. And then click save. And the next field is your legal address. Here you would enter the legal address of your business. That could be your home address, could be the same as the address you entered above, or if you have a PO box or you have like a mail service somewhere, you could enter that address there. This address will only print on legal documents like your tax return. So there, we're done with the legal info. Let's scroll down to customer contact info. And here you'll enter the email address that you want your customers to see. And this is also the email that customers will see on, well, on your emails, on your invoices. And if you work from home or use a PO box or virtual office address here, you can also use that address. Now for your email, like I said, all of these could be the same, but in case they are not, just pay attention when you put this information in. So we're done with the most basic information. So we are going to click done. But there is one last vital step, and that is, let's click on the gear icon again, accounts and setting. But this time we're going to go to the advanced tab here on the left hand side. Click on that. And most of this information you don't have to worry about for now. But one very important thing is, if you know that you are on a fiscal year, most of you will not be. Most of you, 99% of you, will be on what's called a regular fiscal or tax year, or a regular fiscal year starting in January. But some people, for various reasons, they choose to start in a different month. So let's say, for example, you start your business in October of 2025. You would still enter January here, okay? This is, for most of you, it's always going to be January. Unless you have a specially elected fiscal year, then you need to make sure you put in the right month in this field right here. You just edit and then click save, and you're done. And just like that, your backend is set up perfectly. If this helped you, please click like. For more QuickBooks mini tutorials, hit subscribe. And don't forget to grab your industry matchmaker tool in the description and join our free Ninja CFO Academy on School. See you there.